yet?
We are.
I think we are. Yeah.
We are.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, is that how we're starting?
That's how we start. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, yeah. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Is this the Tootsie Roll episode?
Hey, what did y'all think is a better episode? We had the two propositions in the group chat. We had Ho Rays and Who Shot Ya.
I think we already had a Who Shot Ya named episode.
I feel like we did too.
I think we did.
I feel
So
like
we're
he's
going to have to
lacking.
just go
I feel
Ho
like he's
Rays.
lacking creativity. Man's is on vacation.
Because I read it, I'm like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know if
This
it's a
episode
song or
real
an
familiar.
episode.
I'll have to dig through the archives. What up, though, everybody? It's Chris Platte of the Rap K Podcast, a.k.a. Platte Pods. I'm with my crew, my esteemed panel. Y'all know all of these faces by now. They're regulars. Bryce must be nice to be on vacation twice, thrice
Hell
maybe,
yeah.
thrice maybe. This man traveled. This man travels more than an IG model. It's insane. I got
Get around like a whore.
you know my guy. You know my guy. You know how he holds it down. The Shannon to Skip Bayless. You know what I'm saying? Birdie.
I had to try it. You guys always do it. You
You know what? I
was gonna let it go.
You like it. I love it. And shout out my
Don't
guy.
worry. The whole world going to be doing it one day.
Shout out my guy. Shout
They'll
out my guy
figure it
Eric
out.
Barber. Shout out my guy Eric
What's up?
Barber for returning.
Somebody just got to edit the clips song. One day just.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was a little nervous about that part.
To be fair, you didn't rehearse it. That was a
Yeah.
freestyle off the top.
Uh-huh.
Off the top. I get it. There's nothing worse than, before we get to rap, there's nothing worse than like if you have to, because we all love rap. So we've all definitely been intoxicated or inebriated in some sense of the word, and freestyle. And with freestyles, there's bound to be some
Some hiccups. Some
yeah,
misses,
some hiccups
some,
along the way.
some bullshit.
Some bumps along the
all
road.
type
Yeah.
of
That's
dumb
all
shit.
that was. That was a freestyle. So
It's
that's all
like
good.
the moment that you played, like, you hooping or something against someone who's actually really good, and you realize, oh yeah, I'm not gonna go pro in this. It's the same thing with rapping. You freestyle at that moment, you have that peak confidence. You're like, oh no, this ain't gonna be my profession.
Well, you also have that one dude that's like super excited to freestyle, and like nobody was asking him to freestyle, and he goes, and like he's rehearsed it, he's prepped it, he's like, this is his moment,
And he still
it's what
fucks
he
it
lives
up.
for. No, I mean it just is not the vibe.
It's not.
It's not the vibe. I'm gonna kill everything in here. It's like, all right, bro, we're just drinking, we're having a good time.
Sir, it is 5:00 on a Tuesday in Ferndale. You ain't killing shit.
What
That's
the game
an
say? Red rose, white. I forgot what that is.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We got a tradition on here before we start the episode. Let me see. Do I have my phone on me? I do not. Birdie, you got your phone on you? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and give it Big AP a call, because that's our tradition. So we have our normal tradition here where every time one of the people's on vacation, we like to give them a call and check in. I'm not always good at it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. By the way, I'm gonna remember this time. But give him a little call and see what he's up to.
The suspense is killing us.
Yeah,
Yeah, might not.
he might be on a mission right
Right.
now. Yeah.
Yo.
What up, dog? You live on the air. Don't say anything incriminating. Big AP, what's up?
Big AP.
What's good, boys? Yeah, I'm just out to you, my mom and brother, right now.
All right. Yeah. Tell them I said what up. We had to call you real quick.
Podcast says hi. They're live right now.
Yeah.
Tell Johnny I said what up.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, good old Chicago. So, I'm sorry I can't be there with y'all boys. There's some good drops this week, so we'll have to catch up on the next one, all right?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I know. You got to be sick about it. Joey Badass, your mans, finally came outside. Finally gave you something to talk about, and you're on vacation. Poorly timed.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things that happened this week that I want to talk about. We'll have a little event next week.
Yeah. I'm already know. Hey, listen, I'm gonna let you go. I already know you got some shit going on with the fam. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love y'all boys. Have a good episode, all right?
All right, bro.
All right, peace.
Shout out Big AP, man. Shout out Big AP.
Big AP.
Before we get to any of the real content.
One day.
Hey, Amine, we gonna get to it, but Amine had a bar on his album that was really fucking good. It was like my father didn't believe in what I did until he saw what was on my wrist, and then he shot out Prezi, and I was like, oh, that was really dope. That was a really dope album. That was fire. Before we get to our like main topics of the show, because we're gonna talk about the beef. We're gonna talk about all the new music, Amine album, a whole bunch of music dropped. Rihanna dropped a single. We're gonna get to all of that. We're gonna get to all that. Yeah. Save the last for when we get to that part. But this DDG situation. Listen, man. I'm honestly, I've seen everybody talk about it, and this is the one thing, you guys know me. I'm super in tune. I'm super tapped in. I try to be. This is the one thing that I have seen constantly. I have not taken 2 seconds to dive in. All as I know is that there is some drama here. There is some things to say. Birdie, what is this situation? What's going on? Where are we at with this? Because I've seen everybody talk about this.
So far, it sound like DDG having too much fun in public. And I think 10-4 take right here. I think that she using her leverage that she got with like Rock Nation and all them, and trying to get what she can to make him look as bad as he can, just so she can get full custody. That's
so you're saying Hove is behind this now.
What I'm saying is, no disrespect to Hove, because you know he the GOAT.
I know. Everybody just wants to attach everything Rock Nation to Hove. We're gonna talk about Rock Nation.
I'm not gonna say it's Hove, but I do think if you are an artist in the industry coming in the game, if she is attached to Rock Nation, stay away from her. Stay away from her. Stay far away from her. If her next door neighbor works at Rock Nation, stay away from her. If your motherfucking cousin associated with somebody in the neighborhood that's working with Rock Nation, stay away from her. Just stay away from them, because they looking for the next victim. That's all. They looking for their next victim so they can compensate off that. You know what I'm saying? I can see it from a mile away. That's my 10-4.
So you're kind of coming from the angle that it's like these allegations are like some cap or something.
Rihanna, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, ASAP doing all right.
Meg Thee Stallion, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we got Hailey. I just seen Hailey and her sister with Jay-Z and Beyonce like last week. I don't know if that was. They're signed like recently.
They're signed to her. Both of them are signed to Beyonce's label, Parkwood Entertainment.
Okay. The more you know. That's why I love this guy right here. 'Cause I never knew that.
Dude, this guy will always have the facts. But no, Eric, where you at with it? Fill me in on it. So that's the narrative I've seen. But I don't know the full story. Basically, it's a couple, right, that's splitting, and it's just been an ugly breakup.
Just ugly.
Basically, she accusing him of being abusive, so she's trying to get a restraining order on him.
So
all kinds of abusive, right?
All kinds of abusive. So apparently, I guess the most recent incident was he showed up to pick Halo, which is the name of the kid, up, which was his time to see the kid, because they've already split up. There's already kind of like a custody situation. And he showed up and was kind of harassing. The report goes that he was harassing her, yelling, broke her Ring camera off the house, and did like a couple other things. So she got filed for a restraining order. And then just recently, I think it was yesterday evening or today, the judge granted her full custody of the child because of the restraining order. Okay. So again, I haven't seen the Ring footage or anything like that. I don't know exactly what's been, seen, what's not seen, but
it'll be out sooner or later.
It's going to be out, and also on the flip side.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He walked right over to the laptop and he was like, "It'd be a shame if this podcast stops recording."
Yeah.
That's AP's new intern right there. Just checking to make sure everything's rolling right.
Yeah.
But
He's already doing a phenomenal job. You're about 80% of the way there. If I could teach him how to do a thumbnail, he's out of here.
bye.
He's out of here.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, no, that's the one topic that as a host I am not informed on. So we can move on.
Yeah, well,
the
one thing that I did see about it, I saw Soulja Boy was pretty giddy to fight him.
Yes.
And
First, probably. He was probably first to fight.
Bro, Soulja Boy gotta pop out one of these days, bro. He just keep on keep on doing every time, just randomly. I don't even know how that shit started between them two. I
think he just jumped
There was
out.
no backstory. It's just that because of the abuse allegations, Soulja Boy called him a bitch and said, "I'll fight him right now."
Yeah, I saw like a history of them. They used to be like pretty good friends. It seemed like.
Dying for Soulja Boy to pull up on.
They both used to do like
Bro,
the YouTube
video,
boxing too. Like Soulja Boy was gonna fight Jake Paul, and DDG did like a YouTube boxing event because he's a YouTuber.
Yeah. They say he's really nice for sure. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
You ever seen that video when him and Chris Brown was supposed to fight? He was like swinging at the camera. That shit is so fucking funny, dog. I swear, Soulja Boy is so fucking funny.
Soulja's like, he's like super skinny. I don't think he's like
skinny as shit.
He doesn't seem like he has a lot of mass on him.
Could be hard.
I mean, DDG pretty. He not like
No, they're both
pretty
skinny.
big.
He's definitely like toned though, and I wouldn't say that about
no, for sure. Soulja Boy skinny as hell, for sure.
like skin and bones type of dude.
But yeah, no, he a legend. He a legend for sure. DDG a YouTube legend, so that'd be actually a good little powwow.
A little pay-per-view.
Little powwow.
Little powwow. Speaking of legends, I mean, he is a legend. We don't like him right now, but he is a legend. The Diddy case has been unfolding in front of everybody.
Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, look, we're not going to do a full breakdown. You can read the transcripts. It's messy.
I wouldn't.
It's ugly. Yeah, I wouldn't unless you're like, I don't know, unless you're one of those people that reads like those type of books, you know? Maybe if you're like into those like erotic books.
Maybe we got the new 50 Shades of Grey for black women.
Dude, I think 50 Shades of Grey is looking at Diddy like, God damn.
Right, like this is way
We did find out why he had so much baby oil, though. The phrase, we got to pause to reapply the baby oil was there.
Wow.
That is like, it's so like so many things about it are crazy. Like the fact that like people needed IVs to handle the freak off. The fact that there's just all the things.
The fact that a freak out can last anywhere from 72 to 128 hours is ridiculous.
Insane.
Bro.
Insane.
They're not Tom Jordan cruises that last that long.
After 5 minutes, I'm like, get away.
Yeah, listen.
So listen. After reading the case, Bryce.
Yes.
Is Diddy gay or not?
I don't know exactly, but Diddy definitely something, and it ain't straight.
I think we have to redefine. Like, I think he is his own category.
He is.
There's
gay, straight, bisexual, pansexual, and Diddy.
He like Cuck Pro. Like he's setting the camera up, he going in the other room.
This man is not cuck free. He's not doing the free trial version. He's definitely paid for the upgrade. He's a platinum member.
But like the escorts, Cassie taking the escorts and rubbing the shits on him. I'm like,
well, no, they said he was rubbing the shits on him himself. They said he was scooping it out.
Oh, he was
scooping it out the vagina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the phrase that we had to read was semen rubbed on nipples, which is again not a phrase I want to read at 11:30 on a Wednesday, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean that's probably when these freak offs occurred. If they're 72 hours, they're bound to bleed into a fucking Tuesday, and it's like, motherfucker, I got a meeting to get to.
This man was literally flying into towns doing business meetings only because he knew he had the hotel room booked that night and for the next 4 days.
Yeah, And the fact that like he would just get her to like, you know, like help organize these things. That's the crazy part. Before I get to there, I want to get my last joke off. And they brought up Kid Cudi.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I just want to know, as a longtime hip hop fan, there has been a very strong rumor about Kid Cudi and a car bomb. And
Yes.
I just want that to come. I just want that confirmation.
So according to
hoping
Cassie's
we get that.
testimony, Diddy left the freak off because he knew Kid Cudi was with friends, and he wanted to blow up Kid Cudi's car while he was with friends to everyone to see it, and blew up the car in the driveway because Kid Cudi had a little dating time with Cassie. So after Diddy and Cassie were broken up,
I'm just saying, bro, it ain't the 1960s. If we are in 2025, and I know this was a couple years ago, so whatever.
Yeah. 2017.
Call it
You're right.
2017. A car bomb in 2017. I'm looking at you, Goofy. Just shoot that.
I mean,
man.
bro's the Joker at this point.
Just
You know what I'm
shoot
saying?
that
It's like 1960s Gotham City.
Which actually is funny. Did you
Yeah.
ever see the when he dressed up as Joker for Halloween? P.
Oh,
Diddy,
yeah, he did.
P. Diddy dressed up as Joker for Halloween and got into a fight with one of the TV members from like Think Power or something because they said the guy was like, "You acting way too weird and standing behind me in a way I do not enjoy," and so they got into a fight.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
He really is the Joker.
I think Diddy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or I guess the
Diddy,
stroker.
Diddy really checked him about that for real, low key.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're good. Keep going.
No, I said what I said, but yeah, no.
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear you.
That nigga Diddy really checked him about that too, low key. I could tell. I don't know, bro was scared, but like, I swear it's like you got a certain type of way you gotta like address Diddy about certain shit. You know he just, he just got them
I think-
them killers.
I
But shit,
I
might
think
as
the
well
thing
just say
about
it.
I think
Just
about
hurry
the
up
thing
and
about
just go
Diddy,
ahead and tell her.
Just charge. Just plug that in. Plug that charger in. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. So from one convict to another. From one
just move the
from one
laptop over.
convict to another. Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. Now, I've seen a lot of people say a lot of things. Shout out Bryce. Thank you.
Nice work.
So we get, what was it, like Sunday, Monday, whatever, Tory was stabbed 14 times.
Right, both
And-
lungs.
Yes,
Yes.
both lungs collapsed, and he pulled through, thank God. And then we get this notice that, hey, we're dropping a bombshell tomorrow, and there's a press conference. And that press conference happens. And in that press conference, they say that Kelsey's bodyguard admits that Kelsey shot Meg. And then obviously the internet was in an outrage because you have a man that nearly died, and conspiracy or not, you can go to a conspiracy because of the timeline.
He's going back to his original tin hat theory.
What?
He's going back to his original tin hat theory he was just talking
Yeah.
about.
Like,
10-4 take.
so there. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Where I see a lot of people saying that this proves Tory Lanez's innocence, and well, it may. At the same time, I feel like, me personally, I feel like it's a lot like the Diddy case right now. Like the Diddy case, like we all think Diddy is an absolute monster, right?
Yep.
Like,
or at
he's
least
an
an oily motherfucker.
like an absolute, like the freakest of the freaks, right? But like from a criminal perspective, they have not yet nailed him. As we're recording this, I think they will.
I'm pretty sure some of those strippers already nailed him, but continue.
Fair. In the court of law. In the court of law. He hasn't been nailed by the Supreme Court.
That we know of.
That we fair.
Yeah.
Also fair. Also fair. with Tory, like, I know that everybody's jumping to the conclusion. I just still feel like there's just some missing hole. I feel like, how did things get here without... How did things get here? Like, that's where I'm at with it. Like, with Tory is that, like, look, I'm not saying that Tory isn't innocent. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's guilty at the same time. What I'm saying is that when I look at everything about the case, fact by fact, layer by layer, I get the inconclusive evidence on the gun. I get all of the things that both sides are saying. And yet I still don't come away with a true answer. Like, yes, this guy can say that Meg was shot by Kelsey, but if you're Tory, then why did you just never say that the whole trial? When you're on, and why did you not, if you're Tory, why did you not get or why did you not put yourself on the stand?
Do you listen to Tory music? What do you think why do you think he ain't saying that?
Listen, I've listened to his music.
I mean, I'm not saying he is or he ain't, but I think he want to be perceived a certain type of way.
Yep.
So
he's not gonna snitch. And then the other thing about it too, and this is,
I feel you, but there comes a listen. I'm not saying I'm pro snitch. I'm just saying.
That's the clip right there.
I'm not pro snitch. I'm just saying, in this particular scenario,
I'm pro truth. She did it.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. There has to be a certain point where you're like, you know what? Let me just make sure that I'm not in prison. Let me just make sure that I'm not in prison. That's all he's got to do.
Tory getting stabbed, Diddy getting stabbed, just in different ways.
All right, dude.
We gonna have to let's drop Diddy.
Go on, big man.
I don't want to hear no more about Diddy, old freaky.
So to go to one of your points, though, one of the things about it, and in most criminal cases like that, most defense attorneys will not want their client to actually testify, because even if they know they're innocent, you can have a jury perceive certain things in the cross-examination that will hurt your trial.
Especially when you're going against a woman.
Yeah, but I guess, the alternative, right? Like, really the biggest account there is, Tory and Megan's, right? I mean, Megan, like, do you think, like, Megan would just say all that just because of the argument's true? They both agree on the argument and stuff that led to it.
I think it's also fair that he may have shot her just off the simple fact of he ain't gonna beat her ass. He's 5'2".
Bro.
He is a short dude.
For real, like, I'm so tired. Hey, listen.
She's tall as fuck.
Listen, Bryce, is you buying this? Do you think Tory looked at Meg and said, "Dance, bitch, dance," and shot her? No, this is what Meg said. This is what Meg said in the document. He said he turned, looked at her, and said, "Dance, bitch, dance," and shot at her feet.
I'm not saying she's a truther. I'm
just gonna say this.
I'm just saying. Like we talked about DDG and Logan Paul boxing up, right? You look at the measurables.
And Soulja Boy.
It's in favor of Meg.
And
it's in favor of Meg.
That's all I'm saying. I'm going to ask you the same question. Have you listened to Tory's music? That sounds like a bar that he would have said in one of his songs for show. I told this bitch dance.
Dance, bitch, dance. Like, for real, like real life. Like,
I'm not talking about in front of the camera.
That's way too
dance,
movie. That's way too Hollywood.
Like, bro, like, like this some Degrassi ass. Like, come on, man.
So like before we let things play out, because right now it's up to they have a petition out there. They're waiting for the governor of California, right, to step in.
The other thing about
district attorney, right?
District attorney. Yes. The other thing about this too is a lot of that was recently potentially found as just show, because the person who admitted that, as Kelsey's bodyguard, there's been a lot of questions around him if he was even at all involved in this at all. So they're saying that actually there's a lot of other side now that's saying that that's actually someone who's part of Tori's team who's claiming to be her bodyguard that actually had nothing to do with this at all. Has no knowledge.
But no,
I already know he ain't got nothing to do it because we already know the bodyguard that was there. That was Tori bodyguard, right?
That was in the car, yes.
So, I don't know. Yeah, that shit
and Kelsey, let's be honest, she was famous because of Meg. I don't know how much of a bodyguard she would have really had.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that's
too,
the part that's confusing.
Like, what you need a bodyguard
Right.
for? Like, you
it's really
professional
hot out
best
here.
friend.
Granted, like we see you out, damn hella ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you just a professional best friend.
Protect women, but like also at the same time, I don't think she's moving around with the bodyguard.
No, her job was professional best friend. That's it.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I'm dying to be a professional best friend. If you're hiring, I will say I like you. Like, no, dude, that seems like the most lit thing in the world to be lit by association.
Yeah.
That is.
To be part of a rapper of the 2000s entourage. What's your job? Blunt roller. What's your job? I don't know. I just done the third one out the car. This is my role every time.
I just single file line. I get there.
Like a middle school teacher, I just keep everyone in a straight single file line. That's all we do.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of I don't know, man. This case is so confusing to me. It always has been because then you look at the stabbing and then you look at this happening.
Yeah.
And it's easy to correlate a conspiracy, right? Like, oh, this word was about to get out, so let's try to kill him. But then there's a story. And I saw it. I saw his TikTok. I forget who brought it to my attention. Damn, it was just somebody. It was just somebody like hours ago. Who brought it to my? Damn, I think it was before we linked up. So I think it was one of the heavyweights. Shout out to heavyweights. And they brought up this the person that stabbed him was like the rumor is that Tori was very flirtatious with that guy's wife who was visiting him consistently, and he was like, yeah, like I'll fuck her, whatever, blah blah. I'm Tory Lanez, I can fuck your girl if I want.
That's not a smart move for Tori, who's in there for 10 years, because they already gave the name of the guy who did it, who's already had a history of violence in prison and is there for life.
Is there for life, nothing to lose, and so that also makes sense. If you're there for life, if your life is not changing, and somebody were to talk any way about your woman, what do you got to lose?
I mean, legitimately,
Nothing.
that's just
Literally nothing.
I understand that Tory Lanez may not used to being in jail like that, but bro, that's some simple life stuff that you don't do.
Like, you just it's. I think it's very easy to identify the people that you shouldn't fuck.
Unless you're trying to fight, you should never talk about somebody else's girl in front of them to their face.
He probably just brought his ego into prison,
which is not a smart idea because Daystar, there's some actual killers in that jail.
Yeah.
he might got some killers with him now. They say he was by himself though, so it was like
it was something they said happened at 7 in the morning or
6:30.
Yeah,
type shit.
Yeah. Be smart.
One last like criminal thing, and then we'll get to like actually talking like hip hop music, like all of the stuff that's happened in hip hop. But there was just a lot of criminal activity that happened. There was just a lot.
What are you trying to say there, Chris?
Smokey Robinson is what I'm trying to say. Damn it, bro! I thought Smokey was one of them ones. I was like, because a lot of times, to be 100% transparent, a lot of times you hear things and then something happens.
Yeah.
You heard it with a lot of the other greats. I don't want to besmirch their names, so I don't want to name them. But a lot of the greats, you've heard things about like, oh, yeah, they're moving foul. And then something happens.
Right.
Smokey was like the one that like you didn't hear shit about And then this whole allegation popped out where apparently he was sexually assaulting and abusing his, I believe it was his maid, right? Or his housekeeper.
Wow.
Yep.
Of like 16, 18.
2 of them, actually.
Like 18 years. Yeah. And I know a lot of people want to make jokes based off of the last album that he dropped. That was very horny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you're 70 and that horny.
Ask Robert De Niro.
Fair.
Man, just had a kid. Sorry, Al Pacino. Al Pacino.
I knew who you meant. I knew who you meant.
Or
Yeah,
Bill
no,
Belichick.
that shit is just crazy to me. All I wanted to do was mention it. I don't want to be messy about it. I don't want to get into specifics.
It's one of those situations where
But it's just shocking.
it's shocking. You hope, it's because of the music, you're hoping it's not true. But then again, we don't know all the facts, but you don't want to think that someone would just be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to call out Smokey Robinson because that seems like the person to go after. So you don't know the situation. I know we're going to hear more about it, but I do believe that, Smokey had put himself in position. I know you guys probably talked about the whole Shannon Sharp thing. In life, in general, especially now with the social media age, you got to put yourself in position to be smart.
Yes.
Even if you didn't do anything, you still don't want to be put in a position where you could be alleged of doing something. Yeah. So you got to keep everything above the board, especially if you're a celebrity, because we got to do it as just normal people. You got to think, as a celebrity, there's incentive. Whether you did something or not, if you did something and think, oh, I can hide it, it's not going to be hidden. And if you didn't do something, but you put yourself in a bad position, you're opening yourself up. You just got to move smart.
I agree.
Wise words of Bryce.
We want to get to some music. We want to get to some fun shit. Let's get to some fun shit.
We stopped talking about assault? Okay.
Yeah. This is the end of the Rap Cave Criminal Podcast, whatever you want to
I just
call
want to point out that we are not lawyers or attorneys, and all the legal views are not to be taken seriously. If you in some legal shit, don't call us.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
That being said, I would want you to be my attorney if I get caught in some stuff.
So what made waves, and this was teased about through the bigger picture. Shout out to them. They teased this for weeks that they were just so giddy to talk about the fact that they had this secret news that was coming.
They almost went for Trump.
I'm making fun of them, but shout out to DJ Head, Elliot Wilson, Jeremy Heck. I think they're all good. I think they're all dope. It just was funny that they were teasing it on their show for a couple weeks straight. Like, oh man, I heard this is happening. Oh no, I heard it got delayed, blah blah. And it might have. And I'm not saying they didn't know. I'm just saying it looks a certain way to present like, oh, I got some inside information.
Again, it's literally what Trump was doing. I have this big news, but I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to tell you in about a week or maybe a month, but it's big.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay. But that thing came to fruition. We got a cipher, shout out Red Bull,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
of Big Sean, Absol, Joey Badass. 3 of them. And there's a lot to unpack here because there's a lot of cascading events that follow.
There's a lot of buildup.
I will say that this, first of all, was a dope cipher. I love the idea
sure.
of having an East, a West, and a Midwest artist, all of the same era, agreeing to do a cipher, while keeping this lyrical hip hop beef competitive. This is what I love. Like I enjoy this. I enjoy that hip hop is in this place now where it is cool to spar.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is cool to spar. It's definitely gonna cross a line where at some point it's gonna get corny. But for right now, it's cool to have these sparring sessions with all of these people because this is the stuff that rap nerds like me sit back and think about. How would this person do in a battle against this person?
It's what
And
hip hop's built off of.
Yeah,
It's
of
built off
course.
of competition.
It's the culture, and so I was really enjoying it. I thought that all 3 artists did their thing. And before I get to I won't say the ramifications, the actions that followed the cipher. I have to say, I'm extremely, extremely disappointed in Big Sean. I thought that what he did was disappointing because Big Sean is one of them ones, lyrically. We all know that Big Sean is one of them ones. And this was very clearly an East versus West thing. When you watch this, you look at the energies. Look at the way Big Sean came on. And Big Sean came on and he talked this shit. He said some slick bars. He did his thing. He rapped his ass off. That's what Big Sean does. But what did he do? He put his arm around Absol.
Yep.
He hugged Joey Badass. Joey Badass was the only one of the three of them that looked like we all agreed to this, but I'm going to use this as a moment. Ab and Big Sean were friendly. They were friendly as fuck in that.
And you can tell.
And Joey was not friendly at all.
You can tell, too, the friendly level that they had because of the way they spoke about each other's women in the breaks between the rap battle.
Right. Yeah. And so that was all dope. That was cool. I love it. Listen, I love rap sparring, and that is clearly a situation where they're going to keep it rap. They're going to take their shots, talk their shit. They're going to keep it rap. But Big Sean, boy, am I disappointed because you had the chance. You had the chance to say the West Coast is up right now. The East Coast, well, mainly Joey, but the East Coast is trying to fire back on the West Coast. Where is Detroit versus everybody, Big Sean? Where is the fact that you take that situation if you're Big Sean, and I get that you're a sweetheart. You're a good dude. And I love Big Sean, and he's probably one of the people I'm most looking forward to meeting. But you are in a position where you have to, as the representative of Detroit versus everybody, you have to plant your flag. I don't want you to be friendly right there. I want you to stake your claim. Yeah, there's East, there's West. It's Detroit versus everybody. Look at all the sports teams in Detroit right now that are successful. You look at the Lions, you look at the Tigers, you look at the Pistons. All of those three teams, we're not going to talk about the Red Wings. All of those three teams are gritty as hell. They fight for it. They embrace Detroit versus everybody. Big Sean, I know you know Detroit versus everybody. You've been on that record. You know the energy that Detroit carries. And you, Big Sean, are the one. I'm not looking to Babytron. I'm not looking to V's. I'm not looking to Boldy. I'm not looking to all these very talented Detroit artists that are very talented and very good. I'm not looking at them to step out and say, it's Detroit versus everybody. Fuck this. Let's keep it lyrical. Let's spar, but Detroit is here. Big Sean, you are the one. You are the one that needed to step out as the OG, as the certified, and you needed to embrace that. And you know what? Big Sean, again, some of the reason why he is one of my favorite artists that I want to kick it with is the same reason why I'm disappointed, is that I know that he embodies that J. Cole spirit where I love to rap and I love to be good at rapping. And I will always rap with people, but I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to have that dog. I'm not going to stick my flag in the ground. And that was an opportunity where Big Sean should have stuck the flag in the ground and said, look, this is cool. You don't got to be on some, like, I hate everybody, but you got to throw that flag in the ground. Plant that flag. Detroit versus everybody. Big Sean, I'm extremely, extremely disappointed by that performance only for that caliber. I thought your flow was tight. I thought your verse was good. But everything other than you needed to stake that claim for Detroit. Somebody has to speak for Detroit. I've been saying that for weeks. Roll back the tapes of the episodes. I've been saying that for weeks.
Tell them how you really feel.
Months. I've been saying for months. Look, this East-West shit is cool. Somebody from Detroit has to pop out. Somebody. And Big Sean should have been the one. This was the opportunity. And I hate it, but he's in that J. Cole where great dude, super talented, love and respect all of his art, but man, all you had to do, this is just gonna stay rap. All you had to do was plant that flag, Big Sean. All you had to do was say Detroit versus everybody. I was extremely disappointed and upset. Before we get to the Joey Badass and Ray Vaughn and all the shit that cascaded,
So
I just am upset.
So what I'm taking from this is you think that Big Sean had the best verse on that cipher?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He had. If I'm ranking them, Joey had by far the best verse. I thought Joey was a standout of that, and part of it is what I said, the energy he brought. Sean was hugging Absol. Sean was hugging Joey Badass. Joey Badass was like every time Big Sean hugged him, like. and then just kept going. Like he knew what this opportunity was, and they all have respect. And I'm sure I'm sure they were laughing, giggling, and chatting before the tape rolled. But when the tape rolled, Joey acted like fuck both of you.
So
Big Sean should have done that.
I've been watching you during this rant, and so I want to get your take on this whole thing.
One thing I'm just starting to notice. This nigga loves segregation, don't he?
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I mean, damn, like a nigga just can't come and rap. Like, why we gotta do it? He want to force moment so fucking bad. Like, bro, I just came here to rap, bro. Like, why we gotta do all this? Like, this nigga mad. I gotta be mad too. Like, yo, like. I don't know, man. I just see it like as
you see it different
when, like, you on a platform like Red Bull. Like, your first thought shouldn't be it should be to give your best rapping ability, but I don't think like going at people on Red Bull would be like my first idea. Like, I'm on Red Bull, like I'm about to show the fuck out. Like, these niggas got like crazy spots.
You're Big Sean. You're worth almost as much as Red Bull. Like Big Sean is up. That's an exaggeration. Big Sean.
What?
Big Sean is worth.
They paid that nigga. Get up here.
Red Bull in space.
Yeah. Big Sean is worth hundreds of M's. Like he is nowhere near in the position where he needs to check. And I know that's not what you're saying, but what I'm saying is this: is that I get that these bars are funny, they're goofy, but I just, as somebody that loves Detroit the way I love Detroit, I want somebody to plant the flag. I want somebody to stand up while this shit is happening. I want somebody to stand up.
Does this have to be that moment, though?
Yeah, I don't think...
This is a perfect opportunity. It doesn't have to be the moment, but this was a perfect opportunity.
I don't think Big Sean's, like, ever been that type. Like, Joey Badass, he's a scrappy dude.
So,
like,
too.
Joey Badass, he's scrappy.
And that's why I don't think you can even compare it to a J. Cole, because we've seen J. Cole stand next to Drake for 15, 20-some shows straight.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Nigga say something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Big Sean, on the other hand, just popped out the woodworks last year and fucking dropped the album. And how long was that before? Like 3-4 years?
No, but that's the thing with Sean, is that he does what Cole does, is he plays with it. Because remember what happened before he dropped that album.
He was doing a lot of teasing, like
he was doing a lot of teasing, like fuck all this Big Three conversation, blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck about that. And again, Sean, I'm saying this as I'm the biggest Sean fan in this room. I know that. I'm just disappointed because of the fact of, like, you were the person that had the opportunity to say something, to stand up. Like, okay, let's say Royce does it. Let's say Royce does it. Let's say M does it. Let's say any of these people come out right now and say, y'all are arguing about East and West, Detroit is where it's at. If Royce, M, and M say it, that's looked at, okay, yeah, that will hip-hop community, that will reach a lot of people in the community, because those are respected artists, those are legends. But Big Sean is inarguably, and I know the dynamic that exists between Big Sean and Detroit, and we don't got to get into that full conversation. But Big Sean is the one right now from Detroit, and this was the opportunity. And I just wanted somebody to stand up for Detroit. That's it, because I know this isn't going anywhere. I know this isn't nothing more than just rapping.
What did you want? What exactly did you want? Did you want Big Sean to say, fuck you, Joey?
That's what he said. He literally just wanted to say Detroit versus everybody, which, I mean, cool, but it's like, okay. Like, even if he did do that, like, because to me, it seemed like you want, like, some type of commotion. Like, and that, even if he just said Detroit versus everybody, it's like, okay. Like, we've been saying that for like 10, 15 years. Like, that's not about to start anything. That's not about to be no headlines. Not about to be no viral moment.
It's not.
So it's like, even if he did say that, why does that boost this verse 10 times better in your mind?
I don't want to make it for a viral moment. I just want, while these regions are leaning into regionalism.
It's only 2 of them.
Yes, and that's fine. But I want because that has been a consistent theme in the core, in the history of hip hop, and all I want,
it's not true,
as Detroit being an underdog, to stake their claim, because I think Detroit has one of the best music scenes in general of all time, if you want to include everything, but just in terms of rap.
I respect.
Right now,
I respect. Okay, listen.
Where we're at.
I respect it. You love the competitive.
That's all I want. It's competitive raps.
We're not about to act like this is just normal. Like, outside of the Biggie and Tupac situation, like, this is just not just happening every 2 years in hip hop. East go against the West. Like,
hip hop is
sometimes.
Hip hop is competitive, but that doesn't mean that all rap has to be competitive. Like,
it doesn't have to be all rap.
No,
Big Sean can drop an album about self-healing, which he just did, and then pop out. That's what fucking Kendrick did. Kendrick wrote a whole album about therapy and about, finding myself. And then guess what he did? He went on a hate tour.
It doesn't seem like at all in, like, I mean, Big Sean, he's got like several songs with Bieber. He's on Cooler Than Me. He's got songs with Ariana Grande. It's just not
Big Sean.
His style.
Big Sean just never gave me like a hater vibe. So like, I mean, maybe he ain't gotta like pop out like hating. Like, he just started doing like some hard shit and like just be hard. But even then, it's like he never really was that neither. Like, he was always a mixture of things. It was like he pop out here, he got some hard shit.
But that's the difficulty of Big Sean's position, and that's why, like, I am disappointed by. I do get that part of what you're saying. I don't all the way agree with you, but I get that part. Like, I get that it's foolish for me to expect that out of Big Sean. Like, I get that. I get that Big Sean's DNA, his history, has shown you that he is not the type to do a Kendrick and be like fuck y'all. Like, but Big Sean is the one that's in the position that I would have liked for him to do that for Detroit. All I want him to do is I don't want Detroit to be New York.
Yep.
I don't want Detroit to be free parking.
But I don't think anybody gunning for Detroit. Like, we are not a tourist attraction when it comes to real life and hip hop. Like,
I'm not talking about real life. I'm only talking about hip hop.
I know. I'm talking about both. Like, literally, period. Like, nobody's really checking for us in those areas.
Well, that's foolish.
Detroit has its own lane.
Because I think
I think the most people worry about right now when it comes to Detroit is the Pistons.
How many cities? How many cities?
Actually, Tigers.
Let's talk straight hip hop. Let's not broaden into the conversation of other contexts. Just talking hip hop. How many cities are you naming over Detroit?
Over Detroit? Are you talking about rap? Well, I mean,
yes.
It's not really.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's not really that many big cities.
They qualified by that period. They qualified by that period because you're putting Detroit. You're putting. If you want to say, if you want to say Los Angeles, if you want to say New York, if you want to say Chicago, if you want to say Atlanta, if you want to say Houston, Memphis. Yeah. Okay, that's 7. I'd put Detroit over at least 2 or 3 of those that I named.
Yeah,
at least. So like Detroit is. So what I'm saying is Detroit is, when it comes to rap, they are a premier city.
I think
premier city.
I think the issue you're running into here is you came into this wanting blood. Up until Joey Badass's part of the cipher, which was the last verse, even when Ab-Soul was going, he repped the set, but he wasn't going like it's us, fuck y'all. It was more of
He didn't. It was more of a, because he has all the little crash out homies.
But
he on Red Bull. That's stupid. That's like okay, Big Sean going on there not saying something, and then next you know, baby trying to. Fuck Detroit, yeah. Not fuck Detroit. Fuck everybody. Yeah. It's Detroit.
To me, that's
what I want.
So it's just like we gonna give Big Sean some points because somebody outside of Big Sean,
right? You know, and my whole thing about that cipher was,
Big Sean points for that.
And
I know, no. What I'm saying is, you just said that Ab-Soul got crash outs to do what you want Big Sean to do, and Ab-Soul didn't do.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's like Baby Tron saying like. Fuck everybody, it's Detroit, and then we get Big Sean some points.
Okay,
like, what?
Okay, but you know what? And that's a fair point. But Ab-Soul leaned into it he leaned into it. Again, he didn't shoot jabs, but he also embraced what it was. Big Sean had one line about East and West, and that was it.
Yeah,
because that was one line.
And here's the thing. Big Sean came to this not trying to be a part, was not just, he was coming here to show after last album, let's be honest, kind of flopped. There was the whole leak situation with Kanye. There was all that other stuff. Right. Big Sean was coming out here to say, hey, yo, I can still fucking rap. And that's what his verse was about. For Big Sean, he's like, yo, come out here, check these bars. And you said it. If it was just a Red Bull cipher, not even cipher, just a Red Bull verse with Big Sean that just came out, and there was nothing else attached, and especially even, I know you're about to hop into it, but if there was no Ray Vaughn stuff and there was no back and forth there, if we cut out all that other stuff, and let's say it was just Big Sean dropping a verse on Red Bull, would you like it?
It's a dope verse, but you got to understand the moment.
He wasn't thinking that was the moment.
No, that was 100% the fucking. That was 100% the moment.
On Red Bull. Why is this the moment?
Okay.
This
on
is
Tuesday at Red Bull.
This is not no hip hop fucking network. Like, what are we talking about? This is not on the radar.
The fact that this guy delayed.
I'm glad Joey Badass thought about it, but it's like, bro, this is not my first thought when I'm going to the Red Bull fucking ciphers and just, I don't know,
Birdie,
be extra aggressive and
you're missing
making a statement. Like, bro, I'm coming here to rap, bro.
You're missing the whole point of that thing. The whole point of that thing was to lean into everything that's happening. The whole point of that cipher was literally because of the East and West beef. That was a central theme. Every single artist said something about it. That was the central theme of that. They took that moment, removed the corporate stamp of whoever you want. They looked at all of those artists had that opportunity. And why was Jeremy Heck, DJ Head, all these people in media saying, "Oh, when this happens, things are going to follow." They all understood the moment. Everyone, Ab-Soul, Big Sean, and Joey Badass all understood that moment. Why? Because that was all a central theme of their verse. Even though I'm disappointed in Big Sean, hold on, let me finish 1 second. Even though I'm disappointed in Big Sean's verse, he was trying to rep where he is. Ab-Soul was repping where he was. Joey was repping where he was. This was organized, strategized, and executed. So because this was all of those things, you think that it's happenstance that all of them mentioned the current situation, the climate? No. The opportunity is that we are three people that are respected MCs from particular areas, and we are all friends and we respect each other. And what our statement is going to be is that this is East and West, and we can keep this lyrical, we can keep this hip hop. It doesn't have to spill into the streets. It doesn't have to do all of those other things. That is exactly what this was. That is exactly what this was.
Okay.
And I would love for you to disagree.
This East and West, right? Why is Big Sean here? And I knew you was about to say that.
Thank you.
I knew you was about to say that. Why is Big Sean here?
That's the moment.
And
why you have Big Sean?
Why is there no Houston rapper?
Why is there no
Florida
Atlanta
rapper? Why is there no Atlanta rapper? Why is there no Memphis rapper? Why is there no Chicago rapper? Why is there no St. Louis rapper? I would love to know. If this is what this was for, I want to know why is Big Sean here? Maybe he's here to mediate. You ever thought about that?
And if that's the case,
maybe that's his job. Okay, if that's his job, why you mad he doing his job?
And also, if that's his actual job, then why is he the leadoff verse?
Because everybody's getting the crux of it is the East and West, and that goes back to, you guys aren't saying anything that disproves my point. Like
telling me the main objective here is about the East and the West, but why is Big Sean here? Why is Big Sean here? If this whole thing is the focus point is about the East and the West beef, why is Big Sean here? And why are we linking the Midwest in when we're not a part of the East and West? Why didn't they bring the South?
But that's where you gotta be. That's where you gotta be Big Sean, and you gotta go off script. You gotta call an audible. You gotta be like, look, I know what this is. I know the premise of what we're getting into. This is my chance to stand up. That is what these other artists have done. That is why Vaughn crashed out over Joey Badass. That is why, like, there's an opportunity, and I understand that. I understand there's differences there, but I don't want to get too long on this Big Sean conversation because we got a whole rap battle to talk about and new music. But I just want to make my point clear in the fact of okay, you can be told that, or it can be understood that this is the premise of it. The premise is East and West, and you're gonna be the middle ground. And okay, you know what? I get that. I get that there's value in that. But if I'm Big Sean, what I would like to do personally as Chris Platte, what I would like to do is I would like to take that opportunity that you are given, and yes, you could be the mediator, but stick your claim and say, fuck it, it's Detroit versus everybody. And that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted Big Sean to do. Big Sean rapped his ass off. Everybody rapped their ass off. And I get the premise of what it was, and I understand that Big Sean was there for what he was there for. But you ain't gonna tell me you've never gone off script before.
I saw the lineup, and that's not at all what I expected Big Sean to do. I'm gonna tell you from my personal perspective, before I even listened to it,
and that's fair.
That's not
because
at all.
Sean's personality shouldn't expect you to do that, and I'm fully admitting that is a fair.
I don't care who you put on that side if from Detroit. I was not expecting a Detroit rapper to come out there and say, "Hey, yo, fuck the East Coast, fuck the West Coast. It's Detroit versus." That's not what I was expecting from that. I thought we were going to get a vibe of some just straight lyricism.
That's what I'm
From
thinking.
a little sampling of lyricism from all over. That's what I came. Before I hit play, that's what I expected to hear. I want to hear. I was happy I got Ab Soul because I feel like
Shout
Ab
out.
Soul
Oh, yeah.
gets overlooked a lot in the space. I was happy I saw Joey because I know Joey's been pushing bars for years and gets overlooked. And Big Sean is the biggest name of all of them. Let's be realistic. Big Sean doing the most numbers of any of them.
Well, yeah.
And so I just wanted to see, okay, I'm about to hear some raps. I'm about to hear some Detroit raps. I'm about to hear some East Coast raps. I'm going to hear some West Coast raps. Are they going to have a little friendly competition? Maybe, maybe not. But I just came for some good lyricism. That's all I thought that a Red Bull Cypher was going to give me with those three. I wasn't expecting anyone to come up and say, diss anybody, fuck the West Coast, fuck the East Coast, fuck the Midwest, or anything like that. Because if they wanted that, I think they would have had 4 rappers, 2 West, 2 East, and left it at that. Detroit's not beefing right now. Detroit's in its own lane. No one's
Very
really
own lane, yeah.
We're in our own lane. No one's looking at Detroit like, oh, if anything, get Detroit versus Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, again, I would have liked if they even stepped out and said, "I'm the best of the Midwest." Like, I just hate being left out of the competition, and I feel like that's where we are. And maybe I'm wrong with that. I hate being left out. I got FOMO. I don't want to be left out of these, because so much of hip hop history is East and West.
And let's be realistic.
And I just want Detroit to make their mark. And I get that this isn't.
Put Big Sean and Mick Jenkins there.
This is the biggest moment, but.
Yeah, and because here's the thing too, and here's my bigger thing about it.
Oh, Mick Jenkins and Absol in the same building would be funny.
That'd be fucking fire. But
I
outside
can't tell
of Joey,
if they're friends or not.
they have a weird back and forth.
Very weird.
But here's my question too then. Outside of Joey, because the whole thing that we just got through in terms of hip hop beef wasn't really coastal. It was the West versus Drake, which is not East Coast. That's Toronto. Joey's come out and had some shit to say about the West Coast, which then caused a little bit of West Coast piling up against him. Not that many people have really been on that bandwagon. It's not the biggest version of the East Coast, West Coast we've seen. It's kind of mild, if anything. It's really,
and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the biggest version. It's just it's just happening.
I think that's Joey Badass versus the West Coast.
Yes, and that's a whole nother problem that we talked about on an episode. You weren't here. We talked about the fact that like New York is free parking. Like dog, like all you gotta do is go against Joey Badass.
Well, because
I love Joey Badass, but
no one else on the East is even thinking like that. No one on the East is thinking, oh, it's us versus them again. That's why I know we're about to get into it. But that Ice Spice line was kind of funny.
No, that Ice Spice line was one of the best lines. But no, I get what you're saying, but it became a thing where Detroit had a chance to. I want to make sure. All I want is I want Detroit to get its proper respect, and I feel like this was a situation where they could have gained a lot of historical respect from the different regions, because everybody has their biases, everybody has their regionalism, whatever.
If we want to really have this, then I think that we need to do a cipher of Detroit rappers versus Chicago rappers, because right now the only thing
I'm with that.
Yeah.
The only beef that we really have from Detroit is with Chicago. Because we're who's the king of the Midwest. East Coast right now isn't really beefing with the West Coast. It's Joey Badass beefing with the West Coast. Atlanta and Memphis and Houston got their little thing going. That's like, it's regional. That's it. This is not really, it's not really, I think, as big as it is in your head. Detroit's going to have their place in history, dude. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
Detroit name always going to ring out. I'm going with The Wire. My name is my name. It ring everywhere from here to Baltimore.
And I love you, and I hope that that's right. But we are all Detroit people talking about Detroit rap, and that's all I want to say is that there is a broader context. Just like I think everybody adores the Lions, everybody adores the Pistons, everybody adores the Tigers. Yes, but outside of us, there's not as many. Lions are an exception. So let me remove the Lions. What I'm saying is that I would love for the world to love Detroit.
Dude,
I think that's already
Honorable.
the case. Like more people listen to Detroit artists outside of Detroit, like a lot of European countries, for instance, and much higher like percentages. Yeah, all those places.
Spain,
I mean, yeah,
Poland,
like Eminem. Yeah, I mean those guys, huge. Big Sean too, right?
Dude, when you talk about me traveling all the time, when I travel and let's say I'm from Detroit, one of the first things people bring up are rappers that they know. I'm like, hey, you listen to so-and-so. And it's not always just like Eminem and Big Sean. It's like the Babytrons and the other stuff. T Grizzlies, like all these other artists that you wouldn't think. I'm in New Orleans. I'm in Tampa, Florida. They're bringing those artists up. Detroit name ring out, man. Well, I think it's just you feel dwarfed.
What does Tampa have? They have beautiful weather. Yeah. And guess what we all know about art? Where does the best art come from?
Pain.
There you go. Ain't no pain in Tampa.
Ain't no pain in Tampa.
Ain't no pain in Tampa.
But they live vicariously through us. What I'm saying is, though, it's because we get so much attention.
Nice?
We get so much attention to, West and all this other stuff that, it's easy to see the blogs and stuff talking about it. But when you talk about people listening to hip-hop, Detroit name ring out there. No matter where I've been, I've noticed that.
It's kind of better in its own lane too, because there's not as much like noise.
Fuck that. I want the whole world
yeah.
to love us. That's
do.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Listen, right or wrong, that's where I'm
Sure.
at. I want the whole
Sure.
world. I want the whole
We
world.
like stimulus checks. We accept it. Everyone's in favor of us, no matter what side you on.
Battle time. Let's get to it.
Let's go.
So Joey had the one line about Ray, and Ray crashed out. And this. All right, anybody that has their phone, can you just check? Because I genuinely feel like at some time during our recording, Vaughn is going to respond. I think it's very.
It's been 24 hours between the two.
I think it's very perplexing that it's been 30 hours and Vaughn hasn't said anything. I'm just putting it out there. But the battle was dope. So Joey puts out that record, and he has a light shot at Vaughn. He has a light shot at Daylight. Whatever. Boom, boom. He's keeping the hip hop. Daylight's another person I'm looking at. But the Vaughn pops out with his diss record. What was it? What was it called?
Whole era.
Whole era, yeah.
Taking a page from Duckworth at first. I thought I was like, he's going at Duckworth?
Yeah. Shout out the whole era. And Joey Badass was. I was interested in how Vaughn approached it. Like, I listened to it and I was like, oh damn, this was absolutely fire. And I thought he before that happened, I thought he had the upper hand on Joey because of the fact that he dropped his response, the crash out over the hard part 6 beat. And I thought that was phenomenal. He did his thing. He rapped his ass off. And then Joey kind of just treaded water after that. And then this happens. And I'm like, okay, Vaughn is with the shit. As expected. I called it out, personally. When we talked about this in January, when Vaughn said, don't make me turn you to an album rollout, I said, Vaughn, I love you. I think you're extremely talented. But you're dying for an album rollout because you're in TDE, so you're in TDE, so don't make me turn you to an album rollout isn't a threat. It's more like a hope. It's more like I got this music. I'm playing Top Dog. I really want to get this music out here.
Don't make me ask Dad, okay?
Yeah. So I love Vaughn, but he did that, and he delivered a phenomenal album. It's right now, it's 1 or 2 in my album of the year. I thought that album was phenomenal. So he did that combined with this, rapped his ass off. Joey came back with the finals, and I'm like, okay. And after listening to it once, I was like, okay, that was dope. Vaughn got the edge, I guess, and then it became a situation where I listened to him again, and I was like, you know what, whoever is in the lead right now is whoever I listened to last. It was that close.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I listened to it one more time, and I was like, Joey's in the lead, because the thing about Joey is that. So I look at it as like a boxing match, and you have your hooks, your jabs, your counters, and I thought that if you're looking at it, Vaughn had hooks, he was not only rapping his ass off, but he had humorous lines.
Keep talking about you back.
Yeah. We don't give a fuck where you been, where you at. That shit is funny to me. That shit is funny.
That was great.
And so just even calling him Hoey, it's just it's just funny. It's simple, it's funny, it's on the nose, whatever. So he had those. And then Joey's just like, all right, you rap good. But then I listened to it again. I was like, oh, he was just straight jabbing them the whole time. Straight jab. Not a lot of hooks. But I thought the one thing that Joey countered on, because I think both artists have made mistakes so far. And I thought the one thing Joey countered on that was really well. One of the things that Ray Vaughn leaned heavily into in his diss was the fact of the acting. Mm-hmm. And Joey had a perfect rebuttal.
Yeah.
It's just me and Pac. That was a perfect rebuttal. You can't mention the acting portion anymore.
Yep.
Because he put himself in that class, and you as Ray Vaughn cannot be the person to question that. And so I thought that was a masterful rebuttal. I also thought, and one thing I was surprised about, was that a mistake Ray Vaughn made was that Ray Vaughn leaned into the, you haven't had a hit in a while. You haven't had a hit.
That's where I think he slipped.
That's where he shot.
I'm just sitting there like, bro, you.
He don't got.
I just heard your first song like 2-3 months ago.
and you're right. But also double down on that when he said you don't even got a plaque yet. Fact check. He's got 2 plaques. Now one is ghostwriting. Mm-hmm. Whatever, fair. But he does have a plaque for Devastated. So like he set himself up to be like in a position where it's like, yo, who are you? And I get what Ray Vaughn's angle was. Ray Vaughn's angle was, he was probably, when he said that, he was probably like, yeah, no, in 15 years I can have a hit. Like I can have one.
Yeah, like listen, I can get one song off.
Because Joey is not a hit making artist, but Ray Vaughn is not there, and so that's where I came to the conclusion of like this battle. I think Ray Vaughn is doing his thing. I think he's impressing me, but I don't think he's going to win this battle off a simple fact of stylistically. West Coast rappers are not going to punch as hard as East Coast rappers, as consistently as East Coast. East Coast rappers are going to jab. I
don't know. Daylight might hop out there and just get crazy.
Daylight's different.
Yeah.
Daylight's West, but like he's different West.
Yeah.
Joey Badass on this song sounded like some,
he
Dipset.
sounded annoyed. And
it sounded like some Dipset Cameron when you pissed Cameron off back in the day.
And he made a fatal mistake that I thought Joey made. And I hope that Ray Vaughn in his response leans to is simple fact of like he has mentioned Kendrick in every single diss.
That's what I was gonna ask about.
He has mentioned Kendrick in every single diss, and I'm like, look, Joey, if we're keeping it a buck, if we're keeping it 110%, you are closer to Ray Vaughn than you are to Kendrick.
Kendrick out here on a stadium selling tour right now. I'm not sure that Joey Badass could 100% confidently sell out the Fillmore in Detroit.
I agree.
No, yeah.
Facts. And that's where I'm like, look, I get that Joey does have a resume that's way stronger than Ray Vaughn's. Mm-hmm. But that resume, when you compare to Kendrick Lamar and compare to Ray Vaughn, it's much closer to Ray Vaughn than it is Kendrick.
100%. Sure. And Ray Vaughn hasn't been doing it with the major backing push as long as Joey has. Like his own pro era, I get it, but still.
And that's where I think Ray Vaughn will. I think that's one of the angles I expect him to come back.
That's what I'm hoping for, because the thing about it right now, the media perception of it is Joey Badass is going to try to pull Kendrick into a rap battle. Like Ray Vaughn's being kind of swept under the rug on the media side. That's why I was hoping that Ray Vaughn was about to hit back with some fire.
And I think you will. I just don't know if it'll be enough because look. So let's just talk strategic battle. So if
the art of war,
if you're jabbing the way Joey did, like I think. I'm going to toss it to the room, but let me just preface the question first. The question is, like, where are you at with it right now? But before we get to that, let me explain my train of thought. My train of thought is, again, jab, consistently over a couple nice hooks. I think that stylistically, that's what West Coast rappers are. I think West Coast rappers they're a bounce, they're a slang, They're a vibe. East Coast are like, I'm going to hit you bar after bar after bar. And I think that favors a diss track. Unless if you're the West Coast, you come with a bounce that's just like, you know what? Fuck, I don't even know that this is a diss song. I just enjoy listening to this.
Right, like an A minor type.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a very hard bar to reach. A hit diss record is a very, very hard bar to reach.
No Vaseline.
I think right. And I think it's been done. But you just mentioned all-time great diss records, probably top 5 diss records. So for Ray Vaughn, I don't see a world in which he's not going to outbox Joey. The only way Ray Vaughn can succeed, and let me say this, he's successful no matter what because it's got a lot of eyes on him, and he did, even if the battle ends in favor of Joey, I think everybody will look at Ray Vaughn as this was respectable. So let me say that to say that at the same time, I think he's not going to outpunch Joey. So he has to come with another strategy. He has to either A, meet the grams you, like right as you drop a diss, boom, I'm right on your head. Or I have to drop a hit. And Ray Vaughn, as much as I think he's talented, as much as I think he may have my album of the year, that album of the year don't got no hits on it. None. 0. Nada. No hits. I love that album, but it don't got a hit on it. So I don't see the roadmap to where Ray Vaughn wins, other than the fact that he wins by the fact of showing out. I don't see a way in which Ray Vaughn wins that isn't a loss. Cause he wins off of a loss. He wins off of okay, Joey is good. We know Joey.
Of course.
We respect Joey. You did a good job. You did an attaboy.
Listen, this is what I think. I think Ray Vaughn need to make some trench coat music. You know what I'm saying? Like all this happy-go-lucky. Like you like when I'm looking at this battle right now, like from those 2 songs that just dropped, it looked like
We didn't even mention Big Reason.
It looked like the little brother jumped off the dresser, tried to give the big brother the people's elbow, and then a big bro stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Put him in the headlock. Like, listen, like you still little bro. I almost smacked the shit out you and forgot that you wasn't little bro. You need to relax. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's what I think. Like, to me, like, I think Ray Vaughn started off too happy-go-lucky, like with this disc, so, like with the vibes type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he too humorous. So like when Joey came in with the finals, like
I think that's what's working for him.
I don't know. I feel like the way Joey dimmed the lights a little bit in the room, like shit started to get dark a little bit. It's like, all right, like it was kind of funny, but it's like, yeah, nah, like we really rapping now. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just the vibes to me. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree with that. I thought though, again, if you're not gonna punch, you're gonna win off charisma.
Right. No, I feel that.
So again, like I know you hate him. I know you can't stand his guts, but like Kendrick is like nice. Kendrick is very like it's emotion driven, it's charismatic, it's like it's the other things beyond the music that like why a lot of people connect to him. And I thought Ray Vaughn was trying to tap into that.
Oh yeah, clear as day. Like those real like Hey Now vibes or whatever that song called.
Hey Now and Peekaboo. Like even the way you look at it, like the way it had that like sample and then boom, the beat drops like.
But like him doing that is just like prime example, like with Joey Badass talking about like,
no,
bro,
for sure,
you really dick sucking, bro. Like you couldn't find nothing else that sounded, you know what I'm saying? Sure. Like you literally just hopped on Kendrick shit for real. But I mean, I ain't gonna like I said, I ain't like the chorus on it. That's one thing I ain't really like about the song. But everything else was
Yeah, no, the
point.
verses. I think the hook was terrible. Other than the fact that like calling him Hoey is just hilarious. I'm sorry. Like it's simple. It's simple things. Like it's very low hanging fruit when Drake said, "Is that a world tour or a girl tour?" Mm-hmm. That's very simple, but it's fucking. It is my favorite thing.
It's a line that we all still remember to this day
because it's so hilarious.
But it's always like big artists, you know, with those lines too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like another thing. Like
Fair.
This whole exchange
is not
like I'm not hearing anything about it outside of like not even like all the rap communities. Like it's one of the bigger things, but it's not nearly to the same scale as any of these other beefs.
For sure. No, this is
because of that, I feel like the charisma factor is like heavily downplayed because it's only rap fans paying attention to it. That's when the jabbing aspect's a lot more important.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I 100% agree with that. Because if Ray Vaughn had a bigger following, like
it'd be much more.
It would be much easier for him to get like this humorous shit off because like people will be like tweeting like, "Oh yeah, Ray Vaughn calling him Hoey," yeah. But it's like not a lot of people really paying attention to it. So it's like
again that I'm back line would have been huge.
You said what?
That I'm back line. Joey keeps saying I'm back.
Right, yeah.
No, that was again. That's a great. It's a simple, but it's a great bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great bar. You always talking about I'm back. I don't give a fuck where you been or where you at. Like it was right there. But yeah, you nailed it. Like he doesn't have the like Joey. Again, I always look at these things through the prism of connections. That's why I'm not gonna relate everything to it, but just because it's the battle that we love the most. That's why I picked Drake to win the battle against Kendrick. Is because Drake is coming into that as the favorite. Nobody is denying that Drake is coming into it as the favorite because he's battle tested, he's popular, he has like Joey had all of that. So I get what you're saying with Ray Vaughn because I agree 100%. Like you have to be able to, despite those odds, you have to be able to overcome that. And again, that's why I don't think Joey will win, or I don't think Ray Vaughn will win, is because as much as I think he's talented, as much as I think I would compare Ray Vaughn's project with almost any of Joey's projects, I would, and that maybe that's stretch. I'm cool on that island, but I think Ray Vaughn is a really, really talented artist. However, he doesn't have the cachet that Joey has, so he has to overcome that. And I don't know how you overcome that while not being the jab
I think
artist.
it's different styles though, and that's what I've realized because I think like when you think of West Coast artists, and not just like battle wise, but in general, you're thinking about guys who like E40.
Their vibes.
E40 is one of the funniest rappers, not just because of his voice, but the bars that he throws out, Too Short. You look at Ice Cube and when he gets mad. You look at NWA. Like, they were still fun. Even going with the introduction to gangster rap, they were still funny.
No, for sure.
I think that East Coast, like I said, when I was listening to the finals, Joey Badass really reminded me of Dipset era Cameron on that song. And it's one of those things, I like both of them on Spotify. In 3 years from now, if they come on shuffle without the context of the beef, I feel like I'm more likely to skip the finals if I'm not in the mood for it. Like if I'm not really ready for some rapidy rap, I feel like I'm always gonna be down to listen to Ho Era, just because
that's a good song.
It's a good song.
That's what I'm saying.
Joey Badass is the type of guy who's gonna stand there and cipher for you about how much I hate you for like 20 straight minutes with no hooks, no breaks, and that's just what he's gonna do, bar after bar after bar. And I think that Ray Vaughn's like, yo, I'm just gonna try to put it in a song because that's a West Coast vibe.
Let me ask you this then. So, do you think, because I think we're kind of aligned with the fact of like how a West Coast rapper wins in this battle, do you think that Ray Vaughn was approaching that off of the factor of this song is going to be more listenable than what Joey will put out, so I'm gonna win off of that? again, a very small version of a Not Like Us, right? Like I'm going to win off of the song being bigger. Do you think that was his thought, or do you think that
I think so.
he just?
I think it could have been. I don't know 100% that.
I think that was his attempt at like a bot.
I don't know
diss.
if he 100% knew what Joey Badass was going to hit back with. I don't know if he was going to rest
Well,
on the laurel.
why not?
I think that he was just like, yo, I heard what you were saying. Here, it's like a presidential State of the Union where the other party comes out and then drops their
Let's
rebuttal.
not be phony. He also has to. Again, if media people are teasing this for weeks, you don't think that Absol, Mr. TDE, you don't think that Ray Vaughn knows that this is coming? Because look, let's take one of the biggest platforms in our space, the Joe Budden podcast. What do they all say? They all said when they went back to their Drake and Kendrick beef, and I hate consistently talking about it, but this is my point. Ish said, and Ish does not give a fuck about rap like that. So that's why I know this is true, because he just put that out there just to be messy. But he was like, my man, if we're keeping it a buck, we knew like that was happening for weeks. You don't think that Ray Vaughn knew that this situation was coming and prepared for it? You think that is all responded in 24 hours?
I don't think people in the industry was just thinking like, yo, Joey Badass about to drop this on Ray Vaughn about to drop this
song.
I think it is. I think you're looking at
when
the
it's
industry.
Kendrick, yo.
I think you're looking.
When it's Drake,
I think you're looking too big.
I might be, but I'm just thinking about it like,
because guess what? If we are the Rap Cave podcast and we are in a position where we hear some intel, and I have some intel, and I've kept it quiet, but if we're in a position where we can't like be, again, this is us. This is like everybody that's on the Rap Cave podcast loves the music, the culture, everything that hip hop represents. And you're telling me that you won't get excited about something that's coming? Like if you like, that's where I.
But it depends on who it's coming from, though. Because I mean, that's just like.
So you're not.
That's just like.
You're not excited for like. I'm excited for anything. If I get.
No, I feel you. I feel you. No, I'm just saying that's
Literally,
like,
someone give him a saltine cracker, he start clapping.
Saltine crackers were the shit when I was sick.
I hate crackers, but no offense.
I
ain't mean to say
take it, brother.
No, for real though. Like I had got sick one time when I was younger, and
Why
like.
look at him though?
Listen,
Why you gotta
man.
look at him?
Listen.
This segregation
Listen,
bars.
man. Listen.
The segregation is real.
Listen. Y'all know I ain't racist yet. You know what I'm saying?
Ish.
But no, what was
Why
I
don't
about to
get
say?
over there?
What the fuck I was about to say?
What
was we talking about?
We're talking about getting excited about stuff.
Oh yeah. No, it's just like even with like album releases, like when you got an artist like Kendrick, like you hear like an album release, like you know this about to shake the culture. Like that's why it's like so.
It's gonna be a stop, drop everything,
spoken,
and listen.
You know what I'm saying? But then you got shit like how fucking what's his name? Who texted group chat and said Exhibit dropping the album this morning?
Exhibit dropped an album.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I saw that.
Probably me because I'm a nerd.
I think that was Isaiah.
Isaiah did drop it first. I listened to it though.
Yeah.
Play
He
that.
went a little rock there.
Play that at his funeral, man. Play that at his funeral. But,
So you read the intro track.
I listened to the intro.
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
No,
it
that's
later.
a crazy.
But,
that's a crazy intro.
Yeah, no, it was actually pretty
Yeah.
good intro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't see it like I just feel like things that go around the industry is like shit that's like more of an important manner than like behind the scenes shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this kind of feel like some behind the scenes type shit, even though it's like, all right, they already dropped their disses, this, that, and the third, but it's like we hip hop fans, so like we covering it, but it's just like outside of us, like it's not moving the needle. It's not like really doing much.
The biggest press of this story has been the fact that they basically are saying, "Oh, Joey Badass called Kendrick out in a rap beef." If you look up Ray Vaughn, Joey Badass on
Kenny
Google
lines
News,
all over the place.
that's what everyone has regarding this right now. That's the headline.
because okay, as somebody that's in the content making, I am in charge of the Rap Cave podcast. So I look at the algorithms. I understand that anytime you put Kendrick Lamar in a title, you do good numbers. And that is what that is. That is all engagement.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody
let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys this right now, and then we'll move to new music. So, Joey Bass has called out Kendrick several times. He was more direct on the finals. Does Kendrick have to respond? Does he have to say anything? Where are you at with the Joey Badass Kendrick dynamic?
I think like what you're saying last week, like, or I think like a couple of weeks ago, like talking about like Jid and Kendrick and stuff like that. Like, you know, Kendrick already kind of tested himself on like a very big, you know, world stage against Drake. Like he doesn't really have to do it against Joey Badass, right? It's kind of like a unnecessary risk for him. And I don't know, like Joey's scrappy, and I think from Kendrick's point too, like he doesn't want to kind of like big bro for his, you know, I guess associate, you know, like anyone else on TD. He probably wants him, like if he steps in, it looks like his guy can't handle it. That's kind of how I think of it too.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. I just thought of like Joey Badass as like a fly on the wall.
I don't know. Like when I look at it, like I just think about like the pyramid and shit, and like Kendrick, like literally at the tip of the top, the motherfucking pointiest part. You know what I'm saying? And then you got like Joey Badass. He's probably like the tier right below, right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And then like with Ray Vaughn like the top of the tier right below that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they all kind of just like just far away from each other in a sense, because it's like yo, Joey, like you want to go at Kendrick, but it's like, bro, you kind of like too little for Kendrick, and it's like Ray Vaughn, you want to go at Joey, but it's like you ain't really got enough for him either. So it's like they kind of all out of each other's league.
So are you looking at Kendrick a certain way if he chooses to ignore it, or no? It's just that makes sense. It
kind of don't make sense for him, because it's like, bro, Joey, like
you'd have everything. Everything to lose and nothing to gain.
It's like, no offense, but it's like both of y'all niggas was on Power, but it's just like we heard more from Kendrick than we heard from you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, and Kendrick.
Because now you're talking about music. You're not talking about acting.
Yeah. But they both was on Power.
They were.
Yeah.
And my thing about it is this: when I look at it,
that shit was so great.
If he were Kendrick to get the group, like the community riled up again, and he were to drop Control, like a second Control verse right now, Joey Badass name not even getting a hair of a mention. No. And so when Kendrick look at his contemporaries and look at people he actually feel like giving the time to, I know what he said, say my name and I promise you'll see Candyman. Yeah. But he not even hearing Joey Badass speaking now.
I think Joey Badass will be like one of them niggas, like, you know how in Takeover, Jay, like, the rest of y'all get half a bar.
Fuck y'all.
Again, taking that from Tupac. Like one of them and Joey. Chino XL, fuck you too. Yeah. That's all the type of bar he gonna get.
I think you guys nailed it. I think that Kendrick's in a position where I find it interesting, because I get from Kendrick's perspective, like he hit the home run, right? Like he got the big one. He got the big fish that he always wanted. Because truth be told, when he dropped Control, there was a couple rappers that responded, and we can all be like pro Kendrick, and we can say like, oh yeah, like it's fair that he didn't respond to them, but he could have popped out and he could have showed up. He played it smart. He played the waiting game of like, I'm not gonna actually pop. I'm gonna constantly test the waters. I'm gonna constantly make everybody on edge, but I'm gonna pop out for the one big fish that I know I need to pop out for, and that is Drake. and he finally got that matchup that he wanted. He did what he did, and he won the battle, and now he's in a position where he can chill. So I'm not mad at somebody. I think Joey Badass is not the good example for it.
I don't think so at
But
all.
I also wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not mad at somebody being like, okay, you won one battle, like slow your roll, like because Kendrick said for years, I'm Candyman, even before he got into beef, and he dog walked Drake.
Say my name and I promise you'll see Candyman.
And he dog walked Drake. He did what he did, and I think that he was put in a position where now it really doesn't incentive. Like, there's no incentive for him to engage in another beef because there's really nobody that's going to beef with it. Like, he dismantled, if we're being truthful, both of his contemporaries. One was self-inflicted, but he took both of them out. So he established himself. So now he's in a class with the legends. And now Kendrick is in a position where Jay, Eminem, whoever is not going to pop out and battle him. Why? Because Jay and Eminem have legacies and they have nothing to gain and everything to lose.
And the big thing for me, too, is when Kendrick came out against Drake and that whole beef happened, he said, I'm not just doing this because I don't like this guy, which I don't. I'm doing this for the culture because I think that the culture is off course. He doesn't have that. Well, that's what he's saying, though. That's what he said. He does not. I don't think he has that same feeling about Joey Badass because I think he respects Joey Badass as an MC.
I don't think he respects Joey Badass.
I think he respects him more as an MC.
I don't think he. How do I put it? It's summer. The weather's warm. What comes with warm weather is what? A lot of bugs. And I think Joey Badass flew his way onto that wall right there, right above you. And I think that Kendrick paid it no mind. I'm gonna let that little bug be.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, you know, so many people, like, he's in so many people's GOAT discussion, right? Like, where he's at with his next Kendrick, just so we're clear, not Joey, but
or the bug.
You know what I'm? Yeah, or the bug, right? Like, he's really, like, very much so, like, you can hear it in all the stuff he's been doing. He's very legacy focused, right? Like, does he want to be this guy who punches really, like, as far as listenership, extremely
because
down, you know what I'm saying?
Because that would just give a credence to anyone else who wants to try to get their name.
Shout out my boy Hip Hop Numbers. That is somebody that I've talked to. I respect it. We've come a long way. Because when Hip Hop Numbers started, I was like, oh, you can't bring numbers into hip hop. Hip hop is all about art. It's about, and I've been proven wrong. There's definitely some value in what he brings, and he's a respectful dude. Loves the culture. So shout out to Hip Hop Numbers. Shout out my guy. He posted this tweet. He's like, man, I wish Kendrick was on his Eminem shit where everybody that said anything about him, he just popped off on. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, look, as an Eminem fan, I think if I'm Eminem's, like, advisor, like, if I'm on his council,
you're his paid friend.
I would have told him there's several beefs that you just, like, it's not worth engaging in.
And I think Eminem is different because of him being a white rapper and everything with the connotations. He had to kind of consistently
prove himself.
Right.
Yeah. Right now, like I said, if Kendrick does this with Joey Badass, then what's stopping, the next even smaller artist to try to punch up to Kendrick to get their name out there? And it's just going to keep happening.
Right.
You're right now when you're at the top, everyone's going to come for your head.
Everybody. And that's why I'm so. Never mind. That's a whole nother. I'm just very curious to see how Kendrick will deal with that top spot.
This man's making millions of dollars on tour every night. He don't give a fuck about this shit.
I think Kendrick could even
does.
learn.
That's why
care about.
Yeah,
that's all he cares about. You're wrong.
Yeah, Kendrick could have like learned from Eminem too, though, because I feel like Eminem was on Smoke with everybody for like 20 years. Really, the only one that's like lasted that people still like remember really is like MGK. I know there's like some of the people with Benzino, right? But he has beef with like Esham, ICP, like tons of people like no one's ever heard of, right? Like over the last 20 years, and they've really amounted to like even by the numbers they don't do well at all.
People forget, like, do we remember Eminem beefing with Everclear? Like, who cares now?
Yeah, right. It was just too much smoke.
I remember him arguing about Christina Aguilera's hair.
Yeah.
I remember he turned a pop hit off of where he was seated.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. Them crackers are different.
Chill out.
Crackers are different. New music. So let me just list them all, and then we'll get to where we get to. Rihanna dropped a single. Amine dropped an album. Emotional Orange dropped an album. Nick Grant dropped a single. Lil Sims dropped a single. T Grizzly dropped an album. Blast dropped a collection, an EP, whatever you want to call it. AZ Chike dropped an EP, just a song. Lotto dropped a single. Giveon dropped a single. Harry Fraud dropped an album with. I feel like I'm gonna mispronounce this, so my apologies. You're from Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Detroit versus everybody.
There it is.
Valley. VALLEE. Snoop Dogg dropped the album. Exhibit dropped the album. All those things. I got notes.
Is this 1999?
I got notes on everything. I got notes on everything that dropped.
And Morgan Wallen dropped an album too.
I don't have notes on that. But if you could enlighten me,
I can't. I really can't.
Why everybody? As soon as I took a breath, I was about to say something, but as soon as I took a breath, everybody just broke their neck real quick. Like damn.
Focus.
Lock in.
Being a good host.
So we had the remix for that weekend song with Doechii. So now,
can we save that?
You want to save it?
Can we save that?
Yeah.
Can we get other shit first, and then get to that? Because
I was just ask a question. That's all.
Oh, okay. No, fuck it. Let's get it out the way.
Send it.
Get out the way.
Yeah.
This is some Chris Platte shit, by the way.
Shout out.
Is
Did you shout himself out, bro?
Is Doechii washed?
Is Doechii washed?
Is she washed?
No.
Are you sure? So she got one more song, then she's washed.
Define wash. No, but so where I'm at with it, I'm glad.
Hold on, actually, let's pause this real quick. Apologize to Sexy Red right now. Go ahead. Look at the camera and apologize to Sexy Red right now. Apologize.
She was on the Snoop Dogg album.
Yeah, she was.
Fuck all that. Apologize. He said she was washed. He said she was washed. And she ain't. I don't know if he said she wasn't gonna come out with another hit, but that's what he was making it seem like. Apologize. Say you sorry.
I understand that everybody has their algorithm.
He's about to give an apology that's fat, juicy, and wet.
Everybody has their lanes, and shout out to Sexy Red. I wish you the best. I support all women.
Hell yeah.
But back to our conversation about Doechii. Speaking of supporting women, Top Dog Entertainment, right? Doechii is her star, and Doechii, I said a couple weeks ago when she dropped that West Side Gun remix, I love how she's handling this shit. She is handling this shit like a superstar. She's got the bubbling status. She's got the chart topping records in Anxiety, but then she's also leaning into super heavy underground and West Side Gun. She is pandering as good as you can pander. She's doing her thing. So shout out to Doechii, and she rapped her ass off on the West Side Gun remix. And so I said, she is a superstar, loading. And then a couple weeks transpired, and she was involved in a song, and that song was a Weeknd song, a remix. And I can't give you a breakdown of it because I forgot what the fuck happened in that song. And that's where I'm at with Doechii. It's like, she, I think, is a superstar loading. However, that was a flop, but it is okay. A lot of talented artists have flopped. Sexy Red, for example.
Wash.
Phenomenal artist.
Wash, right?
Great artist.
Coochie,
Legendary.
coochie.
Legendary.
Apologize. So that's what I'm waiting. Apologize.
There's a lot of talented artists out there. And I think Doechii has the ceiling that I said she had 2 weeks ago. But the song is a flop. And TD, that's who I got to call out. Is because, look, everybody wants to talk about, Doechii streams, Doechii's this, Doechii that. The haters want to comment about those things. And what I'll say is this, is that she is in a position where it's okay to make mistakes. It is okay to miss, to flop. Kendrick Lamar.
Even Kendrick Lamar was on that stupid Maroon 5 song.
Thank you.
Yep.
That is what I was going to say. The Maroon 5 song.
Thank
you.
The
Yep.
Motherfucking the
All
party
right, don't
shit.
go getting on the whole.
What's that shit
Oh,
called?
yeah, the whole
the shit he
album.
dropped on Instagram. That shit was
Watch
a
the
miss.
Party Die?
Watch the party die. That shit
Oh, I
was a
love
miss.
that. I love that.
I know you
love
do,
that
but
record.
I'm just talking about
Yeah, I know.
globally.
I know.
That
I
shit
know.
was a miss.
I know.
Come on,
I
let's
know.
be for real.
I mean, it wasn't released as a single.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
It
Wasn't
was.
a hit.
It was.
It
Well,
served its purpose.
I don't like that because
It served its purpose.
when Drake did that 100 gig shit, everybody was on his ass about it, but he ain't released nothing like no single.
Well,
Okay,
actually, all three of the
but-
songs he
but hold
released
on.
though are on Spotify. That one's
No,
not.
well, actually, yeah, you're right. It
But
no,
hold
but it was
on.
way more songs than that.
But hold on,
one of
hold
the
on.
main
Yeah.
ones.
Right.
No, but
Watch
we're
Party
not-
Die is on Apple
we're not
Music.
gonna.
It's just
We're not
under his
gonna
name.
get the. We're not gonna
It's
get
not
the.
on
It's some
Spotify.
random.
We're not gonna really get into it, but let me just shoot it some bail in that. The disappointing part in the 100 gigs was not how he did it, although I think he mishandled it. It was a quality of song given the context of what it is. And I don't want to get too Doechii, I'm coming for you in a second. But let me just explain this. The Drake records coming off of what happened, I was in the camp of, and I'm only speaking for me. Forget what everybody else thinks. I'm in the camp of Drake lost a battle, and then coming off of that, I want your next shit to be undeniable heat, blah, blah, blah.
So you're saying
And
basically make
he
another
did it.
Wangum Delilah?
Yes, making her absolute undeniable slapper. And I think the songs itself aren't terrible, but the timing and the strategy versus Watch Your Party Die really feels like the end credits were of the battle. Like it feels like the battle is over. This is where I'm at statement wise. And also, you also know this. What are you taught in history? Victory is written by the champion.
This man has
And
been on
so-
some whole criticisms today.
I have
What did I say about summer? That's when the bugs come out.
I have a lot of
thing?
isms. I have a lot of isms. Maybe a few tisms. I have a lot of those. But back to Doechii. The thing about Doechii is this, is that, yes, you swung and you missed on that weekend single. It's okay that you did. But I will say, as TDE, as a person that's pushing Doechii, and again, as they should, there's real momentum behind her. You have to understand that there is a very loud, albeit small, but a very loud group of people that are excited for Doechii's downfall.
Aiden Ross.
I'll get to that corny motherfucker. Fuck that. I don't ever want to hear him talk hip hop again. That cornball. But Doechii has that very loud crowd. Whereas, like, if you want to compare her to a TD artist, if you want to compare her to a Kendrick, right? Kendrick was an industry darling. Nobody disliked him until what? Until Control. Before that, and at that point, he dropped what? Good Kid, Mad City. He was certified. Doechii, unfortunately, no fault to her own, the circumstances around her success correlated with a fan base that is very agitated by TDE and everything that's associated with it. And so I'll say this. I'll say, Doechii, you have to be very careful. And I'm more so speaking to TDE than Doechii right now. Punch, Top. You have to be very careful in how you maneuver Doechii going forward, because there's a very small but a very loud minority on Doechii, on her perception. That stain was not attached to some of your other artists, of your SZAs, of your Kendricks, of your superstars. Everybody was organically loved. And Doechii has a lot of organic love, but she also has this pile of hate that comes with her. So you, as a label, have to market her the right way going forward.
The boos are always going to be louder.
Because otherwise, as much as I love Doechii, this is the first time I'm saying this, she can become a what if. She could become a Derrick Rose. She could become a Grant Hill. She could become a what if.
Yeah.
What if?
I think.
And she's a few steps away. She's a few steps away from that. This miss, I'm not going to trip about it. All I'm shooting is a warning shot. This was a miss. I know it. I hope you know it.
I think the bigger issue is everything that happened around the same time. Like the Met Gala thing, the questions about industry plan, all this other noise around her that's not music, and this was not the song to caution
the Met
that.
Gala thing wasn't a thing until somebody that's not hip-hop talked about it.
I know. But my whole thing is this. I think that Doechii now is in the prime position where she can go back and focus on her debut, like her actual first debut album.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I think that's, if I were her, I would try to limit my exposure right now. You have Anxiety, which is a top 10 hit. Let that song ride its course. Be working on your debut album. You don't have to hop on everything. I mean, did she have a decent enough rhyme on the Katy Perry thing? Sure. Does she need to be on it, though? Not necessarily. Yeah. Does she need to be on the Timeless was supposed to be a bigger hit for the weekend, and it never really blew up like he thought it would. So them trying to put more life.
He put a lot of money into that just off of the fact of, like, him and Cardi are the
I saw it a lot on TikTok. I saw some, like, edits with it and stuff. It did pretty well, but
it did pretty well, but it was not.
It did well, but
it was no blinding lights.
But it wasn't. It wasn't stadium. It wasn't stadium tour.
That's fair.
Yeah, and so I think that for her, that
Cardi wasn't even doing. I don't think arenas.
No, and so I don't think
he's
that
your co-headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that this was necessarily the moment that she needed to stick her toe in. I think that this was almost felt like more of her doing a favor for them, trying to breathe some life into the single than the other way around. And I think it just took everybody down with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't even dwell on it too much just because
that's a good point.
It's kind of almost like stereotypical that rappers don't do well in pop features, right? Like a lot of times you just kind of come in expecting them not to do very well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. I think that's a good point. I think your point is a good point in that everybody expected it to, and maybe there were some other strings like not Doechii related. I'm just saying, Doechii has to be careful what she attaches herself to and what moves she makes, because she is in a different position than her predecessors.
And overexposure is real.
And overexposure is real.
Right.
100%.
I think as far as the hip hop community, though, I feel like what really made the lasting impact, I feel like, was that West Side Gun link up, like way more so than
for sure.
like
Oh,
the
for
weekend
sure.
thing's like already like an afterthought. Like when you brought it up today, like I was like, I had to jog my memory, even though I have heard it a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
so
fair.
I feel like as far as her impact, like this weekend thing's like by next week. it'll be
No,
total
that's what I'm
afterthought.
saying. So this is something that can be like a blip in the radar. People will forget
Yeah.
about it, but if those pile up, then there's an issue. So that's all I'm saying, is that this is like, acknowledge this was a miss. Acknowledge this was a miss and operate strategically moving forward, because if you have a couple more of these, then the narrative around her becomes different.
Those loud boos become more numerous, and that makes that it echo chambers.
And it makes a cheer silent too.
Yeah, it echo chambers.
Yeah.
The hate, it snowballs it. It makes the people like the clown I know you're going to talk about later look more like right.
Yeah. That's fair. New music.
Yeah, so you listen off the new music. Can we just talk really quick about, because you had texted me about it earlier in the week. You're like, rumor, new Rihanna song. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I
was
listened to
okay too.
And I listened to this morning, and I said, or late last night, and I'm sitting here like, anybody could have recorded this. This sounds like some stuff she had in the vault from like 2016 that was never finished. And then a movie's like, we need a Rihanna song. And she's like, here you go.
Yeah.
It was
I don't want
awful.
to spend too much
That's
time on
it was for a
Rihanna.
movie. It was a movie
got-
soundtrack.
It's for the Smurfs movie.
Oh, okay.
I got duped.
Got
I knew that it wasn't like a single for an album, because a single for a Rihanna album would have made much more noise. We would have known about it for weeks. Like it would have been on billboards.
It would have been accompanied by a music video like Work was when Auntie dropped.
Right. So it would have had much more emotion to it. So I knew that. However, I was hoping that this single meant something, and it didn't. It was just a throwaway.
It was a waste of however long, it was 3 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah. That I can't get back.
I can't get back.
So I named everybody that dropped. What is everybody? I'll toss it to the room. What does everybody want to highlight from this week that dropped?
I listened to the "Is It a Crime" by Snoop Dogg a couple times. I for one, like, I feel like there's some that you can kind of expect, like that brotherhood between like Wiz and Snoop, like really kind of shines there. Couple of features from Denon of D12, which I thought was dope. And one thing that really highlighted to me was like the production for sure. I felt like I heard him rap on some stuff that I just haven't. Not to say I'm the biggest Snoop fan. And the bars, I felt like I've heard him do a lot of the same stuff before, but honestly, like better, which I feel like you kind of expect from Snoop.
Yeah, I think to me this is like probably one of the cleanest Snoop Dogg releases since the blue carpet treatment, like way back. This like the last, he had this Snoop Lion, then he had the Snoop Zilla or whatever, like the funk version.
Yeah.
And then he's tried to drop a couple albums that just really didn't hit. This is the first one Snoop Dogg, seems like he's trying to drop the gimmicks and just said, okay, I'm going to prove that I still have some rap in this modern age. And I think it works. You have, again, funny songs like the one with Sexy Red. We're just like, okay, not the collaboration I expected, but as a song, it's not the worst thing.
Right. One thing that like kind of like threw me off, like he was just, I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think, but he was just rapping, like, seemed like 2/3 of the songs it was like very like gangster heavy, right? Like talking about bullets flying off the walls and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't think this has been your lifestyle for a long time, dude. And
This
you
is
have
40
so
This
many
is not Martha
albums,
Stewart's best
man.
friend.
Yeah, right. I would prefer if he talked about Martha Stewart. I would find
Yeah.
that much more interesting.
I think that's what made
this
Jay-Z's
point.
444 so appealing is, hey, I'm not trying to pretend to do anything right now. I'm going to talk about my life as it stands.
Right, because we have gangster Snoop albums, and I would have that was actually like a gripe of mine. Was like,
Yeah, I thought if you're gonna lean it, I agree with that. I thought if you're gonna lean into that like style, like, and who am I to say like you can't talk gangster shit? Like, who am I to be like, Snoop Dogg, you can't talk gangster shit?
I saw your Tortino's Pizza Rolls ad,
Yeah.
dude.
But I if you're gonna do that, what I would have liked to see him like really like full embrace, like tap into like the youth of the not just saying it, but the AZ Chike, the lefty gunplay, like the hit a J3, like really tap into like the modern gangster rap of the West Coast. Like, I would have liked to have seen him, like, because otherwise, again, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying you can't talk that way. But at the same time, I feel like I would have been more interested in him diving into that. But Snoop, look, this album was dope, man. Like, I really liked it off the simple fact of, like, he gave you those, like, melodies that, like, shouldn't be good, but they are good. Right. He gave you these like West Coast funk records and whatever, and so I thought this album had several songs that I enjoyed. I don't think it's like a great album by any means, but I think it's
palatable.
Yeah, it was palatable, exactly. And so I have no regrets about listening to the album. I have no disdain for the album. I thought it was a cool listen. I grabbed the songs I liked. And I moved on. My only thing is I wish he would have like the song with Lil Russell was hard as fuck.
Lil Russell, yeah, he's dope.
Lil Russell is fucking dude. I'm glad he's getting more of like a spotlight between like because people that don't know who Ray Vaughn is, they know that song Ray Vaughn and Lil Russell. Like that's been one of the standouts, and like Lil Russell, like he did the project with Hit Boy. Like he's been really kind of like elevating his stats. Like
I love his delivery.
I'm seeing more people. Yeah, I'm seeing more people like know Lil Russell than previously. So yeah, no, I thought that was a dope album. Did anybody else hear the Exhibit album?
I heard like quarter of it. Yeah. I don't know. To me, I couldn't never really listen to Exhibit like that. Like he just always had that like. That dry voice, that like, I just got my wisdom teeth pulled. They said don't smoke. You get a dry socket. You know what I'm saying? He just kept smoking. But I ain't gonna lie though. Like for somebody his age though, he's still pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. That intro is nice.
It was nice. It sounded fresh, and that's all I had to say on the
Exhibit does a really good job of not trying to be something he's not. So he understood he's not trying to be out here to be the new artist or try to rap like anybody. He's like, yo, this is what I got, this is what I am, and it was straight.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the features were dope. Simba had a great feature on there. Simba's feature, Royce's feature was phenomenal as well. I thought it was a good placement of features. I thought it was dope.
Every time I think of Exhibit 2, I just think how cold he was on Def Jam. That shit was so fire that game. What was it, Def Jam? Was it Vendetta or?
Def Jam Vendetta.
Yeah, Vendetta,
yeah.
That's what it was.
Fire. Yeah, his character was fire on there.
Yeah. I guess.
I know who you're gonna talk about.
Oh, I got a shit ton. Where do you want me to start? There was so many dope records that I wanted to talk about. I'll first get this out the way. Blast dropped the EP of 4 unreleased songs. They sound like they were unreleased. Cool. Keep it moving. I'm ready for the next Blast album.
Yes. I want Dance with the Devil Part 2 with Anderson .Paak.
That song.
Fire.
We play that in the right crowd. Lil Sims dropped a song and a music video. I wish I would. I failed as a podcast host because I should have showed all of you that before we potted, just so that you guys could like absolutely roast me for it. Because that shit. What in the fucking Tony Hawk is that song? She dropped a song called Young, and we're gonna show it after the podcast. And you guys are going to be like, what the fuck is this rock-ass British song? I don't ever want to see their teeth again.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking crazy. It is absolutely fucking crazy. But you know what? I'm still super excited for Lil Sims album because that is so different than what the other singles that are on the album gave me.
Okay.
And
on the
shout out my boy Justin, man. She's just a goofy little critter, is what she is. Like
Nice.
I was gonna say on the flip side, you talk about her dropping a song and a video. Lotto dropped a video, and I guess there was a song attached too. I don't know, but she dropped a video though.
The sound didn't work, did it?
I don't care. I didn't care. I wasn't going to Spotify to listen. I went straight to YouTube.
I was trying to add the sound. The sound wasn't working. It just kept whooping.
At a certain point, I think I heard the sound when the song started. I was like, "No, just mute this." She's a talented rapper, but that song wasn't it.
Very talented.
But the video
Very
was.
talented. Speaking of very talented, I wish he was here, but he can't do 6 hours of work. So shout to my dog. I'm not gonna name him because I know he watches this episode. But Giveon put out a single, and bro, I can't with I. He's dropping a classic. He is absolutely dropping a classic. Between this song and his last single, 20s, the way these songs fit together sonically, what he's doing, his songwriting, the production, I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna be.
He had a moment. Take a moment. Take a moment.
I'm gonna be me.
Nice.
But this album is gonna wash JID. This album.
Wow.
Shout out my dog. I know you're listening. I know you're listening. But no, that Giveon album, that single, fire. Other thing I wanted to highlight, the T Grizzly album, the acapella intro was fire.
Yeah. I haven't got all the way through that one yet, but it's T Grizzly. You're gonna have some.
Yeah,
you're gonna have some funny bars.
Yeah.
You're gonna know you're gonna like it. You're gonna see some wild ass titles.
Yep.
They shot Trump. Is the title of a song.
He gonna be rapping on his own beat, which doesn't necessarily always match up with the beat of the song.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, but you
He
know,
rap like
he's a pioneer.
Yeah, he's a pioneer. He rapped like someone turned his video on 1.25 speed and left the beat on 1.
I can't transition that because I was gonna transition, but it doesn't apply to T Grizzly. Emotional Oranges dropped the album. They are washed. They are cooked.
Ooh.
They are medium well.
I have not had a chance to listen to that one yet today, but
I didn't know they were dropping an album. That's how cooked they are.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it.
That's how cooked they are. Like Emotional Oranges, the Juice Volume 1, Volume 2. Phenomenal bodies of work. I put that up with a lot of bodies of work. Their songwriting got lackluster. Their vocals got lackluster. They started mailing everything in. All of a sudden, it is very generic. It is very simple. There is no, and not every song has to have complexity, but you look at Corners of My Mind. You look at Personal. You look at West Coast Love. Those have some real things that you can like attach to. You can attach to a line. You can attach to a moment in that song. You can't attach to shit off of this album. This album, I listened to it. It was 30 minutes of dry cleaning music.
Wow.
That shit.
Unemotional oranges.
That shit was not. That shit was not it. Listen, you can go at that if you are in the elevator and you don't gotta think about what you're playing. You can throw that on. It is elevator music at best, and I'm disappointed because I think I gotta let go of the fact they're not the Juice Volume 1 and Volume 2 anymore. They're not. They've watered down consistently. And you are now talking years removed from that. They lost what they had.
I don't think that's a big surprise, man.
It's not a surprise. It's
Tale
just
as old as time.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I know there's one album that you're definitely going to talk about.
Before I say that, one more thing I got. Well, two more things I got to shout out. AZ Track single, Game Time, was fire.
Fire.
Shout out AZ. Shout out AZ.
That Chuck E. Cheese.
That Chuck E. Cheese. Nick Grant dropped single too.
Okay.
Fire. Nick Grant, I just want you to just. What are we doing? I want
Pause.
I want Nick Grant to just swing on people. Like this has got to be his personal hell. Never in my years of covering hip hop has lyrics, has cultural relevance been more valued. Nick Grant, that is his bag. That is his forte. And he's up here saying, I want to spar. And nobody wants to spar. That's terrible because this is like if you're a Nick Grant artist and this is your skill set and you see that there's a heightened value on your skill set and you're now like perfect. Now I have the chance to prove my skill set. And nobody wants to box with you because everybody is scared. That is terrible. That is hard.
Honestly, you this pod put me on to Nick Grant, so his currency is going up.
Nah, he's a man. He's a man in his space. He's made it very clear where he's at, and he's comfortable where he's at, and he wants all these people who claim where they're in that to step to the light, and they're not. And that's where I feel like the issue is that nobody is willing to step to the light.
Well, he gonna keep punching.
And that's what I wanted to do. Like I had a let me not say that. Nick Grant, I think, could, as much as I want him to come out just swinging at everybody, just doing some game shit, just name dropping everybody, just fucking, I want one person to fight me. It's got to be authentic.
Yeah, it's got to be real.
It's got to be authentic. And while I know it's real on his end, I don't unfortunately I don't see a world in which that happens organically, I guess. And that's unfortunate because I think he's cold as fuck. And I'm excited for his album. That being said, his single, good. But I want every single record, like when he dropped Nothing Is Free, that energy of like everybody is my son. I want him to keep that up. This record probably conceptually fits the album. But right now, I don't want to hear that. I just want to hear you talking mess.
Well,
I just want to hear you talking mess.
That being said, though, you talk about albums.
Yes.
I know you're about to say something about it. So,
what are your thoughts on it?
Well, which album are we talking about, sir?
We are talking about Amine. How do you say it?
Amine?
Amine.
There you go. Amine. That sounds right.
That sounds about right.
What is your thoughts on the Amine album? My most anticipated release this week.
Yeah, definitely the one I was definitely ready to listen to. I will say this. I can tell in his style of the album, it's the full album as a straight listen through, a little bit different than the singles he released. You obviously have the singles in there. This felt like the album where he was trying to respond to all the people who called him kind of like, not necessarily corny, but like a gimmicky rapper in the terms of like, he's trying to be funny all the time, or he's trying to do this all the time. I think this was his biggest diversion into try to take me as a serious artist that he's done in a while. I think that there are some definite high points with that. I think there's some definite misses. I do think that he had a lane. He doesn't have to be super serious all the time, and I think he tried to show that more so with the singles versus the actual meat of the album.
I love that analysis. I did not contextualize it that way. I love that. I love that because to me, what stood out to me about this Amine project is that it was more melody driven than a typical Amine album is, and that Amine always has melodies, and that's what you go for. You go for the balance of the bars and the melodies. Shout out to Limbo. That's a phenomenal album.
Limbo.
Where I think he did a great job of blending bars with melodies. And this is an album where it was very much I found him doing like a lot of like, you are singing like Drake over like non-Drake production.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of just like very like, the thing that's great about Drake is that it's simple, it's direct, and I thought that Amine tapped into that. But it's over Amine beats where it's very glitchy. It's very like it's very like it's like a lot of like fucking random
really
ass
zone
sounds
style.
that are happening. So I thought Amine sonically stayed to what Amine does while giving you something new. So I thought he did well there. I thought some of the songwriting was good, but I thought the melody songs were better written than like Amine didn't have a Dr. Whoever on this. Amine didn't have like when I'm looking at this, like, I don't think he had the mamas. I don't think he had the like the roots. Like, I don't think he
did have Tori Moy,
which he did.
That song kind of went.
He did, but I think from a rapping perspective, I think he kind of I think when I got the most out of Amine in this project was when he was singing, not when he was rapping. And that's not necessarily a terrible thing, because as long as you get the point to me, you get the point to me. But those were few and far between. That being said, I love the album just off the simple fact of the whole album has the summer vibe. I love an artist that knows who they are.
Yeah.
And he knows what he is. He knows that he gives you summer albums.
Yep.
And so I'm glad that he did that with this album. I thought it worked out. I thought that part of it worked out perfectly. I love a lot of the singles. Vacay, Familiar is fucking fire. Yeah, I just thought though, from like an actual album standpoint, the intro was strong, and I thought that he had good moments. I just felt like melodies overshadowed the rapping for him in this, and it's not terrible, but it's a slight knock for me. So like, I'll say this, after 2 listens, I wouldn't say it's better than Limbo, but that's off of 2 listens in 12 hours. So
Right.
That what it is.
I mean, kind of a quick backstory for me. I had a busy work day today, so I didn't get to listen to it like right away. So it was kind of at the end of the day, kind of Friday, 4 or 5 p.m. where we got my first listen in. And again, sunny. I'm getting off of work after a long day. I'm kind of hyped to go meet some people.
Set the mood.
It didn't set the mood as I thought it was going to. I think this is going to be I'm going to enjoy it a lot more when I go back on like Sunday when I'm just chilling.
Oh, there's some beach day songs on this.
There's some beach day songs for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that I'm going to enjoy this project as a whole more when I listen to it all the way through Sunday versus me coming off the day I had. I was like, oh, I want to hear some like Red Mercedes or Compensating or something. And you aren't getting that off this album.
What's that game bar? Red what?
Red Rose.
Red
I don't know what he
Rose.
said. I forgot what he said.
Red Rose, and it's always something different.
I forgot.
No, but that Amine album is dope. I would probably put it in like the middle of his catalog right now.
Yeah.
I'll give it some more time. This is off of 12 hours.
It's more comprehensive than his early work, but it's not as the highs don't hit as high to me as Limbo.
I agree with that. Perfect. Before we get out of here, let's do some shout outs. I only have one. Because I went through and I looked at, like, I like to highlight everybody's achievements. I like to shout out all the rappers who are doing great things. Drake had a platinum album happen this week. Some Sexy Songs just went platinum.
Okay.
So,
As of today, I think.
yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to Drake for that. I thought I think that's dope. Again, I think
Was it Stacy? Is it Ashley?
don't you hate when you mix up their names? Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that shit when it's foggy and you can't?
Who's calling my shit?
Oh my shit. No, man. Yeah, no. I brought it up only to. I didn't even have to shout out anything. I just brought up the shout out segment just so I could shout out that because I laugh at all the people that are like, oh yeah, no, it's over for him. It's over. Like, bro, just
Drake is gonna always be
he
a
dropped
big
the album
artist.
that he's not even a part of and it went platinum.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
He dropped the album with Party Next Door. He defied odds. He said, I can go platinum with Party Next Door. You can give me the handicap of Party Next Door, and I will still go platinum.
Honestly, that was like super
That was a
shocking.
flex.
Yeah.
That was a flex. That was a flex.
Kendrick Lamar was
Gotta
not
feel
about.
good.
Listen, Drake was big enough. Kendrick Lamar was not about to Ja Rule him in any way.
Yeah.
That's like Kendrick Lamar going platinum with Zakari.
I mean, if I'm Party Next Door, I'm giddy though.
Shout out Zakari.
Now Zakari, yo, if we can get
I
an
think
album full of love,
I think Zakari is better than Party Next Door. But that's a whole other discussion. That's a whole other discussion.
also the biggest song to point out too, the biggest song off that album was Nokia, which Party Next Door has zero to do with.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Strange.
Odd.
Very
Odd.
odd. Very odd. What'd you say? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the episode of the Rap Cave Podcast. Episode 60, by the way. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate all of you. I'm Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Paz, with my dog, Bryce.
The Incredible Bam,
Miami
baby.
Vice on the ones and twos. On the ones and twos, shout my boy Birdie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about it too.
I respect the heart.
Listen,
That's
man,
heart. That's heart right there.
That may be the
That's
heart.
why-
That may be the heart part 6, but that's hard.
That's why he's
Listen,
forever
man,
got a
yeah.
spot, man. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to EB.
Pleasure.
For that. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you for that. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of all the new music that dropped. The Diddy lawsuit, I didn't even bring up. There was a whole Drake lawsuit thing that I just let that cook. Tory Lanez, there's a lot going on legally.
It was a busy
lot of
week.
suits.
If you want to get to the music, what do you think of the Joey Badass Ray Vaughn? I'm also very shocked that we are recording this and Ray Vaughn has not responded.
As last check, there was no response yet.
That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. I'm just like, dude, that dude was ready for it. I'm very surprised.
It's about to be 12 o'clock on the East Coast. I mean, on the West Coast, you only got a couple more hours to drop on Friday. I'm just saying.
Yep.
You know what I think is gonna happen? I think before this episode gets up, I think he's gonna drop. I think it's gonna be in between.
Does he need the Drake drop?
Shout out to Kendrick concert. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there in less than a month.
Oh,
yes,
that's
go.
sweet.
Month, dog.
Nice.
I can't wait for that. That shit is gonna be.
It's gonna be lit.
I can't wait to see SZA up close. Shout out to everybody that tunes into the Rap Cave podcast. Thank you. We'll see you on the next episode. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.